And you can still save your bloodline. And you'll sit there and go, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then 16 minutes after this stream ends, you're going to be back on Steam, downloading COD.
Everyone knows what to do. You know you're supposed to go to the gym. You know you're supposed to train, learn how to fight. You don't do them. That's your decision. It's your prerogative. I didn't make that choice. You have enjoyed comfort when I haven't, and that's fine, but don't expect me to look at you as my equal, because you're not. If we were still in the animal kingdom, the lions, they weren't just born big lions. They had to fight other lions. They had to fight to get that antelope. They had to fight to be the boss. We live in a comfortable world now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. But you know what? To some degree, it does matter.
Maybe all the poor people who go, I don't want to be poor, I've tried hard, it's very hard to inspire people to take initiative to save themselves. It's incredible. From my position, I can extrapolate out my massive influence, and I can say, well, in my position, surely when I say do something, millions of people should do it. And they do. That's why I'm so monumentally influential. But there's also millions of people who don't. Why? When they know that it's going to work. Some people are just born to lose. These are people who are betrayed by their own mind and can't be influenced even from the external because their own mind betrays them. There's a devil on their shoulder constantly holding them back. Good people who work hard seem to always win. By logical extension, anyone who has not won is not a good person who works hard. Somewhere along the line, there's something wrong with you. You have 10 years left to save your bloodline from eternal slavery, and you lack motivation? You are born to lose. All of your ancestors who fought saber-toothed tigers should have just laid down and died, and you deserve to be poor. The last thing you should lack in the mess of the world today is motivation, because you are running out of time. Slave minds, clowns. The last thing you should lack in the world today is motivation, because truly people are running out of time. Not only when you go to college do you end up in a bunch of debt, even worse. And most people aren't trying. They aren't trying. They don't know what trying is. In fact, that's probably one of the things I hear the most. Oh, I'm trying. No, you're not. You don't know what trying is. No, you are not trying. I know you're not trying. I know, because as we sat here before we went to speak, you weren't on your phone working. You weren't trying. You were standing around talking shit to some idiot. You're not trying. People are genuinely not out here giving their absolute best, because if you were, you'd have everything you've ever desired. You'd have anything you've ever wanted and asked for. Instead, what people do is they cope and convince themselves they're trying. Oh, I tried, but I need a work-life balance, and it's hard, and all garbage, all code. And like I said earlier, life is war. If you're a man and you don't view the world as war, I can't imagine how you view the world. My entire worldview is war. I think that as humans, especially as men, we only learn the hard way anyway. There's no easy way to learn a lesson. So God gives us lessons via difficulty. He thinks you need to learn this about yourself or this about other people. So I'm going to give you a difficult time so you can learn your lesson. Because if I told you, if I just said, hey, this is how the world works, you go, yeah. But when I show you, when you feel it, my fight coach used to say, you have to feel it to believe it. He was teaching low kicks, he'd kick your leg off. Because you don't believe in the power of a low kick. You don't believe a low kick can be so devastating unless you've felt it. You have to feel it to believe it. So God will give you a difficult time so you learn your lessons. And the lessons are very important for you to be the person who you need to be in this life. I cannot remember the last time I won anything unless I was winning by force. There's no easy ride to the end. You're only ever going to win by force. There's nothing more beautiful than absolute accountability as a man. Absolute accountability for all things, both the good and the bad, to blame absolutely everything on themselves. I promise you, if you stop making excuses, you stop waiting and praying for some kind of better future, and you wake up every day and say, all of the good in my life is my fault, and all of the bad in my life is my fault, and I'm the only one who can fix this. It's never going to get better by itself. It's never going to be easy. I have to win by force. I must force myself and my mind to brutally perform. There is a degree of comfort that comes when you understand that the power is within your own hands. Life is war. This idea that you can go through life as a man and avoid war is probably the biggest mistake that most men make. Running a business is war. Trying to find a way to escape your slave job is war. Training to become stronger than before is war. Keeping your wife happy and your children inspired is war. Everything about life as a man is war. It is conflict because you are competing against the other men who want it the same. Everything I desire, other men are trying to get. This is a war and I must outcompete them. While others complain that they do not feel happy enough, I'm happy I'm struggling.
Reignite the beast inside you, that primal hunger to conquer, to create. But that doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. You have to choose to suffer now so you can be free later. You have to choose the lonely road, the disciplined path. You have to take complete and utter accountability for everything. You can't make excuses ever. There's never an excuse. People try and put things on the outwards, on the outside. And if you're going to be the guy and you're going to allow life to happen to you and you're not going to happen to life, then you're at mercy of the wind. Perhaps it might work out okay, but it might not, right? So you have to be the guy who goes, okay, the wind's blowing in this direction, I'm doing this. You have to come to life. You can't let life come to you, because if you let life come to you, then you're going to be living inside of a matrix and a system which is designed not for you to live your best life. And this is the beauty of life as a man. There's nothing better than blaming yourself for absolutely everything that's ever happened to you, waking up and realizing it was all your fault and you're the only one who can fix it. This is so applicable to nearly any problem in your life. You don't get success like it's handed to you. You rip it from the world with bare hands and bleeding knuckles. People say winning is hard because they've never tasted what it feels like to earn it. They look at men who win and convince themselves there must be some trick, some shortcut, some privilege. The only trick is that those men decided they would never ever quit. The only shortcut is outworking everyone else. And the only privilege, it's the pain they chose to endure while the rest of you sat there making excuses. You don't become a champion by doing what feels good. You become one by doing what's necessary. The truth is 99% of people will never win because they're addicted to comfort. The soft mattress, the cheap meals, the scrolling, the weekends off, the little voice that says, you deserve a break. That voice is your enemy. That voice is the reason you're broke, unfit, unfocused, and constantly starting over. But let me tell you something real. You're not doomed. You're not too late. You're just undisciplined. And the moment you accept that, the moment you stop blaming the world, your childhood, your ex, the economy, the government, that's the moment you take your power back. That's the moment you realize winning is not some mythical, distant thing. It's right in front of you. There's power inside you right now, but it's buried under years of self-pity and weakness. You don't need motivation, you need responsibility. You need to decide that your current life is not the one you want, and you're not leaving this planet until you build the one you do want. Winning isn't for the chosen, it's for the willing. It's not about talent, genetics, or luck. It's about who's prepared to go to war with themselves every day. It's about who's willing to sacrifice who they are for who they could become. The reason most people never win is because they can't let go of their old identity. They're too emotionally attached to the weak version of themselves. They'd rather be accepted by losers than be hated for becoming something greater. They fear being alone more than they fear being a nobody. But here's the truth no one wants to say. To become a winner, you've got to become someone new. And that process, it's violent, it's lonely, but it's also glorious. Because once you start stacking wins, once you start keeping promises to yourself, once you start looking in the mirror and respecting what you see, that's when your energy shifts. That's when people notice something different in your eyes. You're not supposed to stay down. You're supposed to get angry. Angry at how average you've allowed yourself to become. Angry at the lies you've told yourself. Angry enough to finally make a decision. A real decision, not a wish, not a New Year's resolution, not a temporary phase, a real commitment. Winning becomes easy when losing becomes unbearable. When you finally say, enough. I'm done with mediocrity. I'm done being just another name no one remembers. You think you're tired now? Try spending your whole life wondering what could have been. That's real exhaustion. Waking up at 50 with a body that's weak, a mind that's foggy, and a heart full of regret. So here's the deal. You want to win? Then make a vow right now. A sacred internal contract. No one else has to see it. No one else even has to believe in you, but you must believe in yourself so obsessively, so ruthlessly, that quitting is no longer an option. And every time that voice of doubt shows up, you remind it who runs this life. You do. The man you were born to be is not dead. He's just buried under all the nonsense you've tolerated for too long. Dig him out, sharpen him, unleash him. The world doesn't need another soft, apologetic, confused male. It needs a savage who's dialed in, locked on, and ready to dominate. That man is in you. Bring him out. The universe does not reward the man who waits. It rewards the man who builds. The man who shows up on Monday morning at war with his own comfort. The man who gets up at 5 a.m. not because he wants to, but because he has to. Discipline is the path to freedom, and motivation is the path to slavery. Do what you feel is the mantra of the broke. Do what must be done. That's the law of kings. You think the strongest minds on earth feel inspired 24/7? Of course not. But the disciplined man moves anyway. He moves through pain, through boredom, through doubt, because his goals are not negotiable. You're scrolling through your phone looking for the next pump-up video. The disciplined man is building his empire, brick by brick, in silence, with no applause. And that's why he wins. You want to be free, but you refuse the chains of routine? You got it backwards. Discipline is not your enemy, it's your liberation. Discipline is doing what you hate like you love it. That's what separates men who merely dream from men who manifest. Stop searching for motivation. No one is coming to save you. You have to become the hero. You have to put on the armor of discipline and walk into the fire. Not once, not twice, every day. Because the moment you rely on feeling, you give up control. You don't earn your stripes when you feel good. You earn them when every cell in your body wants to quit, and you don't let it. And don't confuse this with self-punishment. This isn't about masochism. This is about alignment. When you conquer yourself day in and day out, you begin to move in rhythm with something far greater than your ego, with purpose, with legacy. Burn the idea that motivation is your answer. It's not. Motivation is emotional, and emotions are fragile. They crack under pressure. Discipline is your sword and your shield. It cuts through laziness, and it protects you from your own worst instincts. Every time you ignore the alarm clock, every time you skip a session, every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you are sacrificing your crown. And the worst part is you know it. You feel it deep in your gut, that shame, that disappointment, that voice whispering you're better than this. And you are. But you'll never see that better version of yourself until you kill the part of you that keeps waiting for motivation to save you. Only discipline can. When your feelings betray you, your discipline becomes your only ally. That single day, that small decision created a ripple effect. Because discipline is compound interest for the soul. Every rep you push through, every action you take when you're tired, every time you honor your word in silence, it all stacks. You see, people romanticize motivation because it's easy, it's sexy. It feels good to be pumped up by music and flashy edits. Real life is waking up after failure, facing the world when no one believes in you, grinding in silence while others laugh. Discipline is the act of choosing purpose over pleasure. That's how you become a force. People see the result and call it talent. They never see the war behind it, the nights you cried alone, the mornings your soul wanted to give up, the sacrifices no one claps for. You want to live with power? You build it, you earn it. You forge it in silence when no one is watching, and especially when you don't feel like it. Every time you say yes to action when your body begs for rest, you reclaim your soul from the modern world's distraction.
You're not supposed to be comfortable. You were never evolved to be comfortable. You're supposed to be uncomfortable.
You don't deserve comfort until you've earned the right to rest. And most men, they rest before they've fought. They look for balance when they haven't earned imbalance. But if you truly want to win, if you want to feel like a king in a world full of slaves, you got to suffer properly first. You got to go through hell and smile while you're there. Because that smile, forged in chaos, that's what builds unshakable confidence. That's what makes you bulletproof. How many days have you wasted this year? How many hours did you give to distractions, to comfort, to nonsense? You say you want success, but you don't act like your life depends on it. And here's the twist, it does. Every moment you delay becoming the man you're supposed to be, you betray your future. You betray the woman who deserves a real man beside her. You think you're just skipping a workout? No. You're teaching your soul that quitting is acceptable. Every skipped rep is a signal. Every snoozed alarm is a surrender. You're not resting, you're rehearsing failure. But I'm not here to bury you. No matter how deep you've sunk, the climb out is possible. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. The pain you feel transforming your life is the tax you pay to escape hell. Because once you accept you're the villain in your own story, you also realize you're the only one who can flip the script. No one's coming. Not your parents, not your friends, not some guru online promising you a path to greatness. It's just you, your hands, your brain, your will. When you carry yourself like someone who doesn't fold, people notice, opportunities show up.
Not because the universe is magical, because people are drawn to strength. Not the fake kind, not puff chests and loud mouths, but silent, disciplined, consistent power. And here's the truth, you have to earn your peace. You don't deserve peace just for existing. And when you start moving with urgency, not tomorrow, today, time starts working for you instead of against you. People start respecting you, doors start opening, not because the world changed, you did. You stopped sleepwalking through life and started acting like a man who knew the value of every single breath. So this is the part where you decide. You can keep living like your time is infinite, chasing dopamine, avoiding challenge, pretending you're the exception, or you can wake up, because winning isn't about being special, it's about being serious. And if you haven't been serious about your life yet, then let this be the moment you snap out of it. You've got blood pumping, hands that work, eyes that see, and a mind that knows deep down you're meant for more. So what's your excuse? What story are you telling yourself that keeps you mediocre? You think the world cares about your pain? It doesn't. The truth is brutal. Your life is your fault. Every weakness, every failure, every missed opportunity, you had a hand in it. And that's good, because it means you also have the power to change it. You need to understand that the man you dream about being is real, not in some fantasy land, but in this reality. And he's not built in a single day of hype. He's built in the mornings when you get up with no energy and still train. He's forged in the nights when everyone else is relaxing and you're planning, building, grinding in silence. He's formed in rejection and discipline. The men who win, they're not lucky. They're not blessed with some magical gift. They're just willing to do what others aren't. They don't need approval. They don't wait for signs. They move. They decide. They act with intention while everyone else scrolls through noise. And when they fall, they don't whine, they don't blame, they adjust. You've got that same capacity, but you spend so long numbing your edge with distractions that you've forgotten how sharp you really are. And if you're sitting there waiting for clarity, waiting for motivation, waiting for a sign, this is it. This is the sign. Get up. Get focused. The man you're supposed to become is waiting, but he won't wait forever. You think you have time. That's your biggest mistake. You think you've got another year to figure it out, another month to get serious. That illusion is killing you slowly. Every second you waste pretending your life is on pause, the clock is not stopping. The universe doesn't care about your comfort. The world isn't holding your hand. You are running out of life. That's the truth no one tells you. One day you're going to wake up and realize you're not young anymore. Your knees creak, your back hurts, your friends are gone, your chances are gone. And worst of all, you'll realize you did that. Not the system, not your parents, not society, you. And that's the part that'll haunt you. Not the poverty, not the missed opportunities. The haunting part is knowing you could have been him, the version of you who made it, who had the money, the physique, the women, the freedom.